Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we are breaking down the 2022 NFL schedule for your Seattle Seahawks. I am about to give you my final prediction for the Seahawks, what their record will be for 2022. Now that we know what the roster looks like and all the changes that have been made, we will give you our final predictions here from Seahawks Today before the season begins. Let's go ahead and run through and remind you what the matchups are. It begins week one against the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football on September 12th. Then a road game with the division rival San Francisco 49ers on September 18th, followed by a matchup with the Atlanta Falcons to end the month of September, potentially against the worst team in the league. Then October 2nd, it's a road game at the Detroit Lions against Dan Campbell and company, and that is followed up by a contest on the road against the New Orleans Saints, followed by a home game against the division rivals, the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Then the first of two trips to SoFi Stadium in 2022 for the Seahawks when they take on the Los Angeles Chargers on October 23rd. Just around Halloween, things will get spooky, taking on Daniel Jones and the New York Football Giants on October 30th. Then the move to the month of November, another game against the Cardinals, this time on the road in Glendale. That followed by a trip to Germany when the Seahawks will take on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then the bye week follows. Good timing after the trip to Germany, much needed rest there, which will be followed by a home game against the Las Vegas Raiders. You move to the month of December, and the Seahawks return to SoFi to take on the LA Rams, followed by a home game against the Carolina Panthers. Then the second primetime matchup of the year for the Seahawks, as they will be on Thursday Night Football against the San Francisco 49ers, the first game they'll ever play on Amazon Prime Video. Then, around Christmas, they will take on the Kansas City Chiefs, as I'm sure Andy Reid will be jolly looking like Santa Claus. And then January 1st, it's a matchup against the Jets on New Year's Day. And then to end the year on either January 7th or 8th, that date still to be determined. We'll find that out later on in the year, what date that will be. The Seahawks will end the season with a home game against the LA Rams. So, we will give you my record prediction and break down every game in just one moment. But before we do that, it's your turn here on Seahawks Today. What is your record prediction for the Seahawks in 2022? Let me know in the comments section. Our pinned comment today, what is your record prediction for the Seahawks this season? Let me know in the comments section below of how things will shape out for the Seahawks this season. We begin with week one in the National Football League on Monday Night Football. Russell Wilson makes his return to Seattle, and the NFL didn't wait very long at all for this matchup to occur. And I got to tell you, I think the Seahawks are going to be competitive, that it's going to be a good game that comes right down to the wire, but ultimately this Broncos team is going to be too much. I have the Broncos winning week one against Russell Wilson, against the Seattle Seahawks here. Russell Wilson getting it done. Not ideal, but nonetheless, I see that happening. Week two, another loss for the Seahawks. They fall at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers on the road. Not a great start for the Seahawks beginning the year 0-2. But then the Seahawks return home on the 25th for their first win of the year as they take on the Atlanta Falcons. Look, I know both teams are in the bottom half of the league, but I got to tell you, the Atlanta Falcons are a lot worse than the Seahawks are. Seahawks get the job done at home, get their first win of the year. Then they travel on the road to take on Detroit. I think the Lions are going to be one of the most improved teams in the league this year. Going to be too much. The Seahawks ultimately lose that game against the Lions on October 2nd. We'll go through the rest of these games in just a second, but looking back at that game against the Broncos that I have the Seahawks losing to, I think one of the things about this is the game around the game, right? How's the crowd going to respond? What about Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson? Their handshake at midfield, how's all that going to be? What about you, the fan? What's your good reaction going to be to Russell Wilson's return? Are you going to boo or are you going to cheer? Let me know in the comments section. Type B for boo, type C for cheer. Let me know what you will be doing when Russell Wilson returns to Seattle. October 9th, the Seahawks travel to New Orleans to take on Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are going to be a really good team this year. I think that's a loss. Superdome, one of the toughest places in the league to play. The Seahawks have had decent success against Arizona over the years. A home game with the Cardinals, I think this is an upset win and could provide some positive momentum potentially for the Seahawks. I have them getting it done against the Cardinals for a home contest there on October 16th. And then the week that follows, to me, this is a very interesting week as the Seahawks take on Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert, I think, is going to win the MVP this year. I have the Chargers winning the AFC West. Brandon Staley's got a really good football team. Khalil Mack was one of the best, if not best, defensive signings of any team in the league this year. That team is loaded, and it's going to be a really good measuring stick to stack yourself up against, I think, a true Super Bowl contender in the Los Angeles Chargers this year. And going up against that prolific offense and some really good defensive players, going to be too much. I have the Chargers winning that one. Then, to round out the month of October, the Seahawks get back in the win column as they knock down the New York Giants and get a win at home there on October 30th. It might be spooky, but not necessarily for your Seattle Seahawks. Got a great deal that we're offering Seahawk fans. With the season just around the corner, you got to be wearing your Seahawk jerseys to the game. Whether you're at the stadium or at home, you need to represent your favorite team. And there's still time to get these jerseys before the season begins. You can order yours now at chatsports.com/DKJersey. Look, we know DK is going to be around the next couple of years. So why not go ahead, replace that Russell Wilson jersey, and get you a DK Metcalf jersey now. Be rocking number 14, whether it's neon or any of the other Seahawk colors. We have them all for you in one place. Chatsports.com/DKJersey. November 6th, a road contest at the Arizona Cardinals. That one I have as a loss. The Cards get their revenge on Seattle after the early season win from the Seahawks. Then things for the Seahawks for their next matchup, I have them taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Munich, Germany, and it's going to be really fascinating just making this trip and seeing all the things that unfold of this, right? This one has got a lot of folks excited, and rightfully so, for this game, and possibly the last time we'll see Tom Brady take on the Seattle Seahawks ever. And I got to tell you, I've always been a Tom Brady fan. I like Brady personally, and I don't see this as a win for Seattle. This offense in Tampa Bay is one of the most talented offenses in the league. That's going to be a problem to deal with. They could play this game in Tampa. They could play this game in Mongolia. They could play this game in Germany. The Bucs would win. I got the Bucs winning that one on November 13th. So, where are you going to be for the game? Are you going to Germany to watch your Seahawks? You're going to be enjoying it on your couch. Are you going to be watching this game from Italy? I don't know. Tell me where you're watching this game from. Wherever you're at, let us know in the comments section. You know that we're going to be doing these watch parties all year long. You don't have to go to Germany to enjoy the game. Be with us. Let us know where you're watching that game from, if you're going to make the trip out there or not. Very curious if you guys are going to be out there and represent the Seattle Seahawks when they take on Tom Brady and the Bucs in Germany. Let us know where you're going to watch that game from. Then the Seahawks, after the bye week, take on the Raiders at home. The Raiders going to be a really good team, a playoff contender with first-year head coach Josh McDaniels. I have the Raiders winning that game to end the month of November around Thanksgiving weekend there for the Seahawks. And then we move to the latter portion of the season, beginning the month of December. The Seahawks don't see the Rams until then, a very long time before they take on the defending Super Bowl champions. And this one, for me, I think the Rams win it. I think the Rams are a better team. The Rams are going to be contending to get back to the Super Bowl again. I know there's some questions about Matt Stafford's elbow and everything, but that team is still really solid all the way around no matter what. And by that time, they might have Odell Beckham back. They might sign him and have him back on their roster. I got the Rams winning that one. Then the Seahawks return home on December 11th, taking on the Panthers. The Panthers, Baker Mayfield and company, that team, as much as I like Baker, I think that team around him is just a mess there. Home game in December. I don't know if Matt Rule's going to be the head coach or not by that point. Give me the Seahawks to get things done. Thursday night football against the 49ers. On the unfortunate end of things, I have the Seahawks losing that game on Thursday night football. If we know anything, though, when the Seahawks and the Niners face off, when it's a primetime game, it's must-see TV. They're going to lay everything out on the line. It's going to be competitive, but the Niners, ultimately too much. We'll go through the rest of the schedule, the final few games, in just one moment. But before we do, why are you not subscribed to Seahawks Today? I mean, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel now. The latest news, rumors, free agency, trades, breaking news, and everything in between is all in one place. It's right here on Seahawks Today. Smash that sub button now and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. It's youtube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe today. You ain't alive if you ain't subscribed. Subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Week 16, the Seahawks take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. And Kansas City, one of the loudest places in the league. They're going to be right there in playoff contention, potentially in a battle with the Chargers there towards the end of the year. I know this Chiefs team is going to look different without Tyreek Hill, but I think that we're going to see a Patrick Mahomes this year that's more efficient without Tyreek Hill. He's not going to take so many deep shots and so many chances downfield. I think he's going to be more effective by getting the ball in short yardage, in the short passing game, that he's going to adapt that way. Mahomes and company will be too much. They get that win on Christmas against the Seahawks on Christmas Eve. Then we celebrate New Year's Eve with a win against the New York Jets. Zach Wilson and that team, they are pitiful, folks. That should be a win. Might be an ugly game, but the Seahawks get it done. And then the final game of the regular season, the Seahawks end the season on a 2-game win streak. Take it on the Rams, whether it's January 7th or 8th. It's a home game. I am of the belief that that week we'll see the Rams probably sitting their starters as they gear up for the playoffs and everything for that. I highly doubt that the Rams will be playing much of their big-time players at the end of the year, that they should be in very good position for the playoffs. So with that, Seahawks, I think, in the season on a high note, getting back-to-back wins, beating the Jets and the Rams to end the year. So with that, my official prediction for your Seattle Seahawks in 2022 is a 6-11 overall record. No, I did not pick any ties. I do not believe in ties. Even if I thought real deep down inside a tie was going to happen, I could not live with myself if I picked a tie to occur. So 6-11, not ideal, but I think with those 2 wins to end the year, young players developing, there could be some positive momentum for this team heading into the offseason and gearing up in 2023. So before we go, as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tyler Jones Live, also on Facebook as well, where I'm covering your favorite team each and every day. Appreciate you joining us. We'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.